Okay, hi there, welcome to Maui. I'm Ross Williams and we're going to have a look at our cambered sails. That includes our Cosmic, which is a high-end performance freeride sail, our Phantom, which is the free race sail, which is kind of the upgrade from the Cosmic, and then our flagship racing sail, the Vapor. So let's start off with a little bit of general information about the sails. Now the sails are designed to be set on standard diameter masts. They all use constant curve luff curves, and the best carbon content to use is probably 100% on the Vapor, 75 or 100% on the Phantom, and then 75% will work fine on the Cosmic. So let's have a look at the Cosmic to start off with. Now the Cosmic is a great sail for those guys that are progressing through their free ride and looking to get a bit more adventurous, get a sail that can add a little bit more range, a little bit more speed, a little bit more performance to their sailing. I would even go as far as to say the Cosmic is a great sail that could be used for foiling or for beginners going into their first national races, and for younger kids or older sailors that are still having to uphaul a lot of the time, because the luff sleeve is much narrower than on the Phantom or then on the Vapor, so the water doesn't collect in there. It's much easier to uphaul. So if we have a look at the Cosmic, we can see basically we're using kind of the same concepts as we do through our freeride range, and we're using the no cross batting concept. This we found helps soften the sail up a little bit in conjunction with the posi leech system as well. Allows us to, we wanted to go a little bit longer in the boom, but without, well, a bit wider in the sail, but without going too long in the boom. So basically this helped keep our boom and our sail feeling compact. The posi leech is a great way of keeping the mid leech full, but with manageable power. Basically, like on the Cosmic, the luff curve this year has been modified just because it's our second year of using constant curve masts now, so we're having a little bit more development done into that to get the best from the performance of the mast. We've also been working on the shaping, something which you can't see from that angle, but the shaping of the sail has been refined, so the pull and the balance of the sail is feeling more locked, easier to use. The Cosmic is the perfect sail for someone is getting into using the first cambered sail, because it's got two cams, it's easy to rotate, soft rotation, very easy, but then it's also a very balanced and controlled sail, so it adds a little bit more range to your free ride sailing, whereas like say the Matrix and no camber free ride sails, they will have a wide range of wind range, but the Cosmic just will have that little bit more control, a little bit more of the edge in the stronger conditions. So like I said, it's a great transitional sail from a no cam to a cambered sail. Next up, we're going to move over to the Phantom. Now the Phantom is like what I said to many of my clients in the UK that are doing the racing scene. I find that the performance a normal everyday racer or national racer can get from this or from the Vapor, he's better off getting the Phantom just because it's an easier sail to use, you know. So basically, again, we're using kind of the similar kind of luff curves and shaping things that we've learned on the Cosmic and on the Vapor, and we're putting it into this free race sail. This year we have 3 cams for more stability in the high-end winds. We're using again the no cross batting concept to help keep the sail the sail more locked, but we can be more aggressive with our luff curves like this. On the Phantoms, we have 2 clue eyelets. Basically, this allows you to create or take away more power in the sail. A higher eye cluelet, that's going to put a bit more power in the backhand, so you might want to use that if the wind's really light and you're getting, you know, in marginal planing conditions. And then the lower clue, that's going to help with control. So once you've finally got to the maximum that you can handle in the sail, then you can always go to the lower clue, and that's going to kill a little bit of the power in your backhand, make the sail more manageable, and yeah, it just adds a bit more range to the sail. Of course, if you're using these sails, you're probably already well equipped with using an adjustable outhaul system, which I highly recommend for National Fleet races all the way up to the top pros. Yeah, so in the Phantom, it has a 7 batting concept, and that's true throughout most of the range. All the masts, like I said before, are SDM, so either using a 75 or 100% depending on your budget. National races, they'll be fine using a 75. There's really not that much difference. And now moving on to our high-end full-on racing sail that me and our team use on the PWA. Now this sail is still under development, so there's not really a lot I can tell you about, but we are constantly messing around with whether we're going to change over from the cross batting concept over to the non-cross batting concept. At the moment, in the 2017 sails, you'll see that only our largest racing slalom sails have the no cross batting concept. That's just because we kind of found like we liked the way that was working in those sails. We found that we wanted to have a bit more of a smoother, looser feeling, a bit easier to pump. And then in the smaller sizes, we like to kind of lock it down because you're sailing with a lot more power in the hands. Yeah, there's not really much more I can tell you about like the actual development of the Vapor, but for sure it's going to be we're going to be testing and changing things all through the year and developing it as much as we can, so we can bring you the best full-on racing sail for 2018, and it should look something similar to this. Okay, that's the overview of the sails. Now we're going to take a look at how to rig the Cosmic and show you how to properly rig from start to finish using on a cambered sail. So let's do that now. Okay, so we've just unrolled our cambered sail. Now this could be any of our range, the Cosmic, the Phantom, or the Vapor. So I'm just going to show you how to rig it correctly with the least amount of trouble. So firstly, what you want to do is you want to thread the mast up the sleeve, making sure that the mast sits on top of the cambers, just like that. Once the mast is in the luff sleeve, you're going to thread the downhaul rope and you're going to pull some tension, but you're not going to pull the full amount. You just want to have enough tension, take most of the creases out of the sail, and be able to put the boom on to the mast. As you can see, I could probably do it, pull the tension with my hand, and that's going to be enough. There we go. Next, I'm going to take the boom, I'm going to put it over the sail. Oops, put that around the wrong way. And do that again. Next, I'm going to take the boom and put it over the sail. Now, I want to grab hold of the mast, kind of prise it out through the boom cutout, and just kind of fiddle my way so that rope goes underneath the mast. Apply a little bit of pressure. And slip it on. Like that. So after I've clamped the boom to the mast, I'm going to come around and I'm going to pull some of the outhaul on. This will help bring the cams away from the mast and the battens and make it easy for me to pop the cams on again after. So there we go, pull the sail nice and flat. Then it should be pretty easy. Put my hand through the sleeve and I'm going to press down on the inside of the mast sleeve on the batten itself. And with my other hand, I'm just going to use it to push the cam onto the sail and lock it onto the mast like that. It's pretty easy. And there we go, second one. That's on. There we go. After I've done that, I'm going to go back and then I'm going to pull the rest of the downhaul. So, there we go. That's about right. Now, on the cambered sails, the downhaul can be a little bit harder to put on, so you can use either a harness hook or a downhaul system to apply it. And you might need to go back to the boom now, because you find that the sail's now flattened it off, and you need to extend the boom a little bit more to put the right amount of downhaul, right amount of outhaul on the sail. And there we go. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Just some tuning tips now for the Cosmic. The Cosmic, I want to have the sail, because it has a racing leech design, I want to have a little bit more of an open leech than what you'd find on a normal freeride sail, like the hybrid. So you want to apply the downhaul, let the sail open a little bit in the head, lose a bit of the tension in the mid leech, and there we go. It's looking nice. If you let off the downhaul, you're going to increase the bottom end power of the sail, but sometimes if you find that's too much power, then you need to pull more downhaul, pull more, it's going to become lighter, the sail. A good way to know if you pull too much is if the sail starts to tip to the back, as if you've got no backhand power. So if the sail tips, back off the downhaul a centimeter or so, and then you should be good. Another little tuning advice is the outhaul. This is what I used a lot on our racing sails. I generally set my downhaul to one setting, and then I'll only play around with the outhaul. So on the Cosmic, you might not have an adjustable outhaul, so you want to set it before. Fuller, touching the boom, that's okay as long as it's not too windy. As the wind gets stronger, then just pull it away from the boom so it's not touching, and then just lock it off, and there you go. Okay, so I've just explained how to rig your cambered sail. Once you've finished rigging it, just always make sure that you've given your battens enough tension, so you take all the creases out the sleeve. This also helps add stability to the sail as well. So take your batting key and just give all the battens a quick tighten. Now for de-rigging, I'll quickly show you how I do this so I don't damage the sail. First of all, I take off the boom. Once I've taken off the boom, I'm going to release the downhaul, but I don't want the downhaul just to go pinging off as it could damage the sail. You know, the sail can get caught on some sharp edge on your mast extension or whatever. So what I do is, again, release the tension, but just gently. So a little bit. One thing I want to point out to you, we do have this strap on the side of our sails. This is more to be used in centers to hanging up the sails. It's not so much something that you should be grabbing hold of and yanking if the sail gets stuck, because you could damage the sail further. So just release the sail, make sure it doesn't get caught. If it does, then just tug on it slightly. There we go, and release. If the cambers haven't popped off, then just push down on the batten again, and it should just pop up. Take the mast out and you're finished. Okay, so I've now just shown you how to rig your basic cambered sail. I'm now going to look at the Phantom and show you a little bit, because there's a little bit more tuning range as you progress up through the cambered induced sails in our range. So one thing to remember on the Phantom is once you've rigged it, a good thing to do is I like to pull as much downhill as I can without losing the power in the backhand and make the sail drop to the board and feel unstable. So if what's best to do is to get out on the water and test it. Okay, so just every so often come in, pull it just a little bit more downhill until you get that feeling, yeah, I'm happy right on the point, the sail's feeling nice, it's feeling locked, has the power so I can plane out of a jibe, but it doesn't have, it has enough downhill that it's releasing and giving me the best top speed possible. Other things to tune on the sail, okay, is we have two eyelets, outhaul eyelets on the sail. I would say for the heavier guys and in the lighter airs, then you're probably going to stick to the top clue. With that, you can also be adjusting your outhaul at the same time. So if you're looking for power, let the outhaul off, use the upper clue, let the sail, it can touch the boom. It almost can touch as far as forward as the harness line. That's totally fine. And that will give you a little bit more power, a bit more spring in the sail to get it pumping onto the plane. If at the other end of the spectrum, you're looking to ditch some of the power, and then you swap over, use the lower clue, have your maximum downhaul setting ready, and then the lower clue is going to kill a bit more power in the backhand. It's going to make it feel a bit more stable because it releases more of the leech tension here, spilling some of the power. And then if that's not enough, then the opposite applies and you're going to pull more outhaul. Now you can be quite generous with the amount of outhaul, and you can pull a lot of the shape out of the sail, so there's a lot of tuning range. But be careful, if you pull too much, then the sail again is going to feel a little bit more unbalanced. So if you have adjustables on your boom, it's a very good tuning technique, because you can just adjust inch by inch, centimeter by centimeter to find the correct tuning, correct settings for the wind conditions. Okay, and that's kind of pretty much how you tune the Phantom. So I'm here with the Vapor now, and basically tuning your Vapor is a very personal thing. Guys that are using their Vapor, they're gonna, okay, you're going to use the factory settings, but you're going to personalize it by just spending time on the water, adjusting outhaul, downhaul settings as I've instructed on the sails before. Now I'm just going to give a brief overview again of the cambered induced sails in the range. So we have, first of all, at the top level for like PWA riders and for really speed sailors or top level national sailors, they want to go for the Vapor. This is going to be the most technical sail. It's going to offer them the best performance possible. It's the most advanced sail that we have on the range, and it really is our racing machine. So we have that one. The step down from that, we have the Phantom. Now this sail is perfectly suited for a lot of the National Fleet races. You can be a bit more, you can use either a 100% carbon mast or a 75% carbon mast. It's fine. It was designed to be set on 75%. If you've got 100%, that's fine. They're constant curve, and they will fit also with other brands as well. So if you're thinking of switching over from another brand that uses constant curve mast, then that's going to work really nicely for you as well. And then finally, your entry-level cambered induced sail. It's not really an entry-level because you've progressed from a free ride, no cam, onto, and you've made it up all the way through to you're happy and you want to be using a cambered induced sail, and that's the Cosmic. Cosmic has great low-end potential, but it also has the stability that you can only find with a cambered sail. Okay, so I've just finished showing you how to rig a cambered induced sail. So the Cosmic is kind of our entry-level cambered free race sail, and then we also have the more advanced Phantom and Vapor. And pretty much the same tuning applies to both of these, but there's some subtle differences and a little bit more things that you can play with as well. So I'll just quickly run through some of those. So on your Phantom, we have a double clue eyelet system on the outhaul. Basically, if you feel like you're lacking power, or if you're a bigger guy, then start off by using the higher clue. This is going to give you a bit more power, a bit more low-end range, a little bit more feeling in the backhand for using in the lighter winds. If the winds are lighter, if the wind is stronger and you want to get more control, then use the lower clue. And this will help take some of the power out of the backhand of the sail. As for downhaul settings, you want to have a nice even twist to the sail. So you want to pull the tension on, get all the wrinkles as much as you can, have the mast sleeve as nice and tight as possible, and allow the sail to breathe and have an open leach from the top all the way down to the middle part of the sail. This again can be played with by adjusting, adding more or taking off, or letting it off. Good tip, if you've put too much downhaul on, then the sail is not going to sit really nicely on the board. It's just going to fall back and tip back. And the same applies with the Vapor as well. The Vapor, you have two eyelets. You can put the top one for lighter winds and the lower one for stronger winds. Again, the sails are very similar. The only thing I would say is that perhaps at the very, very top end, the Vapor is going to have a little bit more control, a little bit more high-end performance. So a quick overview, we have the Cosmic, that is going to be your entry-level no-cam cambered free ride sail. And you have the Phantom, which is maybe best suited for national races and people just starting out to get onto international events. And then we have our full-on high-end Vapor race sail, which is for those top-level riders wanting to get the very best from their equipment. And that concludes our view of the 2018 cambered induced sails.